Hello friends, welcome back. In this session, we are going to learn the file operations with Python. This is one of the very important areas that we must understand and learn thoroughly. Otherwise, it will restrict us from using the complete ability of the Python. Because when you use files, you have better options to have more amount of data inside the file, and it can be accessed through your Python code. And in this session, we are going to learn the fundamental file operations, which are very easy as well as very important. Right, we'll get into the content right away, and it's easy. What is a file? A file is nothing but collection of information. You can recollect my operating system sessions that I have taught in the past. And when you have some code in the file, it still is file. Once you process it, I mean compile it, it becomes an executable file. Once you run it, it becomes a process, right? So you have a file, the file to executable file, the executable file to process is what is the thing that you need to understand. When you have a large amount of data to be processed, you cannot just like that send it via the command line input. So you need to have a file, and that's why the file operations are seen very important. Now let us first understand how do we use the open function to open a file. We need to have the name of the file as an argument to this function, and you can open the file for read, write or append operation. Remember, you can open the file for read, write or append operation. Only thing is you need to specify which option are you willing to do with this opening, and that has to be specified in the instruction clearly. We are going to have an example, and this file handling requests no importing. Actually, you need not import any module, and this is very important point to be remembered. We are also going to use close function. Close will close the file object, and once it is closed, it cannot be used. So shall we go with the example as usual? Only examples can make the understanding better. Please remember the following points. Point number one: if a file is opened, immediately a file object shall be returned. Remember, when a file is opened, as a mark of acknowledgement, you will get a file object immediately returned. With this file object, one can access the file. You have opened a file, and moment you open the file, you get an acknowledgement. That acknowledgement is called as file object, and that file object can be used to access that file. And remember, R is for read, RB is for read in binary format, R plus is for reading and writing, RB plus is for reading, writing in binary format. Similarly, we have a lot of options available, which you can find out from the Python's official update in the website. Also, we have got a function method called as close. It closes the file object, and once closed, cannot be accessed further. And once you use close, you cannot access it because the resources that are allocated to it also are returned. You cannot access it, hence it is all over there. Now let us see a simple code. As usual, examples help you out in understanding things better, and we have a simple example here. fp equal to open file name comma wb. What is wb? Wb is the option that we have used out of the available options. Write binary, write plus reading, all these options are available, and I have used it as wb, and you can know the file name here as test.txt. Now this would have returned an object called as fp, and I collect it in fp. Now I am going to access this file easily through this fp. Can we know the name of the file? fp.name. When I use this, I'll get the name of the file printed. Now, when the file is closed, I can close it through fp.closed. Now I'm going to close it, fp.close. Once I close it, it is all done. So now see that, you can see that here. Can you know the name of the file? Text.txt. When the file is closed, false here. Why it is false here? I have not closed it here. So you can see that I have not closed it here. fp.closed will be a failure here because I have not closed the file. It is still open. Now I close it, and when I do a fp.close here, you can see that it is a true. Now what happens in the next step? I am trying to read the file again. I have closed the file already. I am trying to read the file now. When you read it, what will happen? It will not be available because you have already closed. Hence, it will be an error. That's it. It's a very simple exercise where we have learned the fundamentals of open, close, fp.closed and fp.read. fp is nothing but the file object. You can name it anything. It's not a problem at all. We'll go to the next example also, which is going to be easy. And in that example, as you have seen the result, you can see that the test is created here. This is the test file that we have created. You can see that. Right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the read and read line option along with read lines option. We have three options: read, read line, and read lines. So we are going to create a file now. The file has got the content as Sachin Tendulkar, Brain Lara, Kapil Dev, MS Dhoni, Rahul Dravid, Saurav Ganguly. These are all the names, I mean the content in the file one. I'm going to use a read, read line, and read lines option for this file access. Let's go one by one. We are going to read it now with a read option. FP equal to open file name with a read option. I am now using FP dot read line. 3 times I use read line, which means you can see the result here. 3 lines of the file will be printed. First line of the file content is Sachin Tendulkar. Second line is Kapil Dev. I mean Brain Lara. Third line is Kapil Dev. And when you do this 3 times, 3 lines will be printed. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a read lines option. Read lines. Here it was the read line without S. Here it is read lines. Now what I'm going to do, open same file name. I'm opening it in read only mode, but I use read lines option. What will be the output? Simple. It will be printed like this. The complete content will be printed as a list. You can see that here, and it is easy to understand. Right? Next one. We can we write some more content into the file? So how do we add content into a file? I'm opening a file called file2.txt. I have it already, so I'm opening it in write only mode now, and fp.write Sachin Tendulkar is the greatest. So I'm now adding this content onto this file, and I'm closing it. Okay, now after writing the content, we need to read it. So how do we read it? FP equal to open the same file name file2.txt here, and I am opening it for read mode here, fp.readline, and when you do a read line, it should be printing Sachin Tendulkar is the greatest. Please remember, when I close it here, it is all over, but when I open it here, I open it along with collecting the return value here. The return value is nothing but the file object, hence I can have access to this file. Remember, I close and I open, but when I open, I get an object back. That is how I work on it. It's very simple and effective. Now, how do we rename a file? It is very easy. We can rename files as per our wish, and we are going to see some simple example. Before execution, I have got a file name called old file name. You can see this here. I've got a file name by name old file name. Now we'll have the code here. So I need to import the OS module for this to be done. So os.rename old file name, comma, new file name.txt. That's it. This is the old file name. This is the new file name. Now after execution, I'll have a new file name available, which is renamed completely with ease. That is it. This exercise is over. Now, removal of files. What do you mean by removal of files? I will remove a file altogether, and I need to import the OS module for this. Now, I have a file by name, new file name. I'm going to write code for removal of this file. For that, I need to import OS module, os.remove new file name.txt, which will remove the file completely. Now see that this file is not there in the same directory. I have removed it. It is easy. The first one was, you can see that here, the first one was a renaming, where the second one is removal, and both are easy to use. But both needs the OS module to be imported. We'll have more learning in the near future in the next session, which will be very interesting too. Thank you very much for the support and the inputs that you guys have been giving. If you have any questions, suggestions, inputs, please go ahead and type it in the comment section. If you like the channel, please subscribe and tell your friends as well. Thank you very much.